Hey guys, I'm back with a tag called the Day and Night tag, and yeah, I don't know who started this. I've seen it all over the place and I really liked the questions and all that, so I wanted to do it myself. So let us just begin, and if I find out who is the last person I saw it from, I will put that person's link below. So Day and Night tag is where the questions are start with the letters from the words day and the word night. So for the letter D, do you read more in the morning or night? I actually read throughout the whole day. I go to school, I wake up and I read during the evening times. Just whenever I have the opportunity throughout the day, I read. I don't have a specific time where I read. I just find that it's just better just to read whenever I can. For the letter A, are there any books that have changed the way you think of things? And I would have to say no. I think that books have introduced different ideas to me and have helped me grow in the way I think of things, but never changed my thought process. Also, I think that a book can help you understand more of who you are and to, grow, but I don't think that a book can really change your thinking, just because that thinking process is who you are, and it's not really going to change. Your thoughts will become more mature and everything, and I think books can help you with that, but never really change you. Next question is for the letter Y, and that is YA or not. I don't mind YA. YA is really good. I've read a few books. I've just started getting back into that, and I have my little issues with it, just because when I think of YA, and it stands for young adult, I think of like maybe 17 to 21 years of age, and a lot of these books just don't feel like they're targeting these ages that well, with the writing being too simplistic for me. But then maybe that's just me because I'm 24 and I feel old reading these books because they're just not really, I don't know, the writing's just too simplistic. And for me, when I'm thinking about 18, 17, 16-year-olds, I think that they could, handle reading books that aren't that simplistic. It's just the way I see it. But then I remember when I was that age, and then I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense that they be writing it like that, because I liked it that way when I was that age. So, it's just a struggle with my age and right now and who I was then. I like YA to a point. I'm not really reading a lot of them. I do read them, but I find myself hesitating with it at the same time. When I look through the book, I kind of have to decide, is this writing going to be a hindrance more than anything? So yes, I like YA, but I go for more of the adult genre. Whatever genres are in there, I go for whatever. So yeah, that is that, and we're going to the word and. And for the letter A, are there characters that you really believe that are real? No, I do not believe that there's any characters that are really real. I just think that they are manifested through the author, or just maybe we know somebody that's like that character, so it's like these personality traits are manifested through these characters that we know from other people that we interact during the day. So that's how I see it. For the letter N, nobody touches my books, or I don't mind lending them out. I hate lending my books out. I've had issues with that for years. Either they're never returned, or they get food on them or drinks on them, and I hate that. And the issue with that is that not just books, but anything that I've ever lent out, I've always had to go and ask for that item back, and I hate doing that. It shouldn't be that way, If I lend you something, you should have the honesty, the respect for me that I would have for your stuff by returning them to me. So it's really rude and disrespectful, and I never lend out anything because of that. It's just the disrespect that people seem to have for other people's stuff is just too much, and I could never do that, especially with my books, because my books are like everything to me. Like when I buy a book, I plan to have them for life. Next letter is D, and that question is, do you ever smell your books? Very rarely. I think I might have if, like, when I pick up the book, there's like a smell that comes off it, and I might smell it because there's that smell. But normally, no. I think that's kind of weird. So the next word is night. The first question is from the letter N. Everyone loves books. Is that a positive or negative thing? I would say it's a neutral thing. I think that books are very important and vital to the world, to the people in this world. But if you don't really like books, that's not that big of a deal either. Just, you know, I think that people should try to read. It's important to learn. You know, a lot of that learning comes from books. And it's just, I don't know. I think that reading is very important. I'm not saying that there is a negative effect either, you know, from not reading. You know, if you don't really like reading a lot of books, that's not that big of a deal. But so that's why I say it's neutral. It could go both ways. Like, it's not really that big of a deal, and I wouldn't consider it like too negative, but I wouldn't consider it really a positive either, because I do feel that reading is a very important thing, and it can help a person, you know, to grow, so, and to learn, to grow in knowledge, and so on and so forth. So I can't see it as being a positive. So the next letter is I. And keep my books in the best of conditions, or maybe not. Which are you? I'm kind of like sort of in the middle. Sometimes it depends on the book. Like, if I read this book constantly, it's gonna get some wear and tear, of course. But I do my best to take care of the books. I rarely ever write in my books, and the only reason why I'll write is if something like really catches at me and I want to write like a note about it. But most times I try to keep like a notebook onto the side. So, you know, I guess I would have to say, like, I'm more towards keeping my books really clean, but at the same time I'm not like OCD about it. Like, the books don't have to be pristine for me to be so happy, you know. So the next letter is G. Gosh, I have too many books. True or false? False. There's no such thing as having too many books. You can have a whole library of them and you still wouldn't have a lot of books. H is, have you ever spilled or stained any of your books, and if so, how? No, I haven't. I know I've spilled water on my laptop before, but never on my books. So yeah, I'm pretty good about keeping drinks and food away from my books. Question is for the letter T, and that is toned or untoned. In other words, do you exercise while reading your book or not? And that's a very big no. I don't understand how people can, I mean, for me, I just don't know how people can, like, run on a treadmill and read at the same time. It's like the words are like shaking right in front of your face, and you can't see the words that well. And how could you be able to understand what you're even reading if you could? Because you're distracted and your brain is joggling up there. So no, I could never ever do that. And I'm not that kind of a person. If I'm reading, I have to sit down and I have to read. So that's it for me. If you haven't done this tag before, you can do it. Just leave a video response so I can go check yours out. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao!